Right now, your cells are eating themselves, not dying. Eating. It's one of the reasons you're still alive. The process is called autophagy, a word that literally translates to self-eating. It refers to a mechanism inside your cells that identifies damaged, worn out, or unnecessary components, wraps them in a membrane, and delivers them to a specialized structure inside the cell that breaks them down into reusable raw materials. This isn't destruction in the way apoptosis is. Apoptosis ends a cell entirely. Autophagy keeps the cell alive, using its own internal machinery to clean house, recycling old proteins and damaged structures into the building blocks needed to make new, functional ones. Here's how it actually works. Inside nearly every cell in your body, damaged proteins and worn out components accumulate constantly simply from the ordinary wear of being alive. When autophagy activates, a double membrane structure forms around the targeted material, sealing it off from the rest of the cell like a small trash bag. That sealed structure then merges with a lysosome, a compartment filled with enzymes capable of breaking almost anything down into its basic molecular components. Once broken down, those components, amino acids, fatty acids, sugars, don't get discarded. They get sent back out into the cell to be reused, becoming the raw material for new proteins and new structures. The scientist most responsible for understanding this process at the molecular level was Yoshinori Ohsumi, a Japanese cell biologist who spent years studying yeast cells to identify the specific genes responsible for autophagy. His research in the 1990s identified the core genetic machinery driving the process, work that was later shown to apply not just to yeast, but to human cells as well. In 2016, Ohsumi was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine specifically for these discoveries, recognition of just how fundamental this self-eating process turned out to be to nearly every form of complex life. Here's where it gets stranger. Autophagy isn't just cellular housekeeping. It ramps up dramatically during periods of stress, particularly when a cell is starved of nutrients. When your body doesn't have enough incoming fuel, cells shift into a more aggressive autophagy mode, breaking down their own internal components specifically to generate the energy and raw materials needed to survive until more resources become available. In a very literal sense, your cells can partially consume themselves in order to keep functioning during a shortage, prioritizing survival of the whole system over the preservation of any one internal structure. This has made autophagy a major area of interest in aging and disease research. Autophagy activity has been observed to decline with age in many studied organisms, and researchers have found that damaged cellular components tend to accumulate more when autophagy isn't functioning efficiently. A pattern that's been linked in various studies to several age-related diseases, including certain neurodegenerative conditions where damaged proteins build up inside neurons faster than the cell can clear them out. Some researchers studying interventions like caloric restriction and intermittent fasting have found these approaches appear to stimulate autophagy activity, part of the reason both have drawn significant scientific interest as potential tools for supporting healthy aging. Though researchers are careful to note that the human research in this specific area is still developing and far from fully settled. None of this means autophagy is universally good or something to maximize without limit. Cancer researchers have found the relationship is more complicated than that, since autophagy can, in some documented contexts, help already cancerous cells survive stressful conditions like chemotherapy, meaning the same self-eating process that protects healthy cells can sometimes protect damaged ones too. This is part of why autophagy remains an active, nuanced area of ongoing research rather than a simple, one-directional health story. If you watched our earlier videos on how your body replaces itself and how your cells die on schedule, this is the third piece of that same picture. Cellular turnover explains how you're replaced. Apoptosis explains why the old version has to go. Autophagy explains how individual cells buy themselves more time, consuming their own damaged parts rather than waiting to be replaced or eliminated entirely. You are not simply being rebuilt from the outside, and you are not simply dying on schedule from the inside. Somewhere between those two processes, billions of your own cells are quietly eating themselves alive right now, and it's one of the reasons you're still here to notice.